Whether you are astrology enthusiast or you love the pattern hunting, this is very practical because we will be analyzing the helper planets and we see how they will fight the affliction, so you can extract that and also use in your chart. In this video, I will show you how one vacation to Arizona for the summer for Temple Grandin was life-changing and how you can also spot those planets, and I will explain you where are the helper planets and how you can assign the meaning to them under the 10 minutes. Through this example, you will see how we have found the challenging planets, where are the good ones, and then how you can use them, translating them from the symbol to the idea and then to the manifested world, and then fly by their meaning. Because for everyone, it's very happy situation when we overcome some struggle, and sometimes we open one door and many things are bringing the momentum, right? There is a big leverage to one event which can make everything fast. So by assigning this helping graha, we can open many doors. So let's roll the intro and start with the analysis. First time I've heard about Temple Grandin from Gary Francione because she is the model for the welfarist approach to animal rights. As you know, I'm very much into it, but I'm on the other side, more of the abolition, when the philosophy is to seeing the whole use of animals as negative, whilst here in the welfarist philosophy, we try to reduce the suffering. So she created a lot of such, we could call it strategies to eliminate or reduce the suffering for animals. For every interest about the animals, we need to have Rahu strong. Here we have, interestingly, Ketu in the Lagna blocking the Rahu influence, but we can also see the Aruda Lagna, and Jupiter anyway is in the 12th house. It is in the Kendra from the Aruda, so it's good, but we have much stronger influence from Rahu because it has the two type of aspects, sign aspect and a planetary aspect, because Rahu always aspects the 2nd, 5th, 9th, and 7th from its placement in the paradigm of Graha Drishti or planetary aspect, and it also aspects from the fixed sign every movable sign except the closest one. So let's go back to her life and first identify the problem. So we will reverse engineer, right? We know from the childhood that she was born autistic and she learned to speak at time or at age of 3. She had that luck to have very supportive and wealthy family. So there was a lot of resources to adjust the learning type and also to visit many specialists and so on. What's interesting from astrological perspective is that she started to speak at Mercury. So just at the beginning of Mercury Mahadasha, of course, using the Utpana. If you have Moon in the 3rd or 11th, then try to find in your astrology software the choice of Utpana Dasha. It will be a revolution for you because you will have totally different planets. You will suddenly find out that you are in different periods, and this one will be much more accurate. This was a big thing for me when I've discovered the Adhana Dasha, because I have Moon in 8, and then I've found that I'm in totally different period, and this one shows my life in much more accurate way. So the question would be how to see the autism in the chart, and there are many theories for that. We know that when it comes to the Tithi, there is something like a Rikta Tithi, 4th, 9th, and 14. These 4 are Rikta Tithi, and they may have some emotional problem when it comes to relating to other people. This comes from the philosophy that Tithi in general is water, and in that water, we could say, container, we would have another divisions, 5 divisions for each 3 tithis. And one such plaster is the Rikta Tithi, 4th, 9th, and 14. And this is a difficult category because it is also in the water. So when it comes to emotion and we have a water with water, it doesn't help relating to others. It's like there is no exchange of emotion. It may be hard to read the signals of other people, to react. So all those, we could call it the quasi or semi-autistic challenges may come, but to be at really autism, we need much, much more. One of such ingredients for this recipe, neurodivergent recipe, would be Lagna Lord, or the Ascendant Lord, right? So if you are Scorpio and your Ascendant Lord is Mars, it has to be somewhat afflicted. And not just like in Dushtana or one malefic, it must be a big affliction. What is big affliction? It's a malefic plus node. Node is Rahu or Ketu. And Lagna Lord is having to do with our cognition. Therefore, all those neurodivergent situations, let's call it neutrally, they may be related to that Lagna Lord position. And among all of them, the one which is showing the autism neurodivergency is the Mars and Ketu. This works quite well. So let's see here. We have the persons born on this Chaturdashi Titi, so the Titi category is there. And then we have the Lagna Lord Mars, and Mars is the twin or in the Kartari of Rahu and Saturn, right? So we have this Mars, we have Ketu in the Lagna. So there will be some challenges, or at least we can call it will be no neurotypical. So now we have to find the transformative thing in her life, and then we will be able to also find ours. So for her, as she said to Oprah Winfrey on the interview and also on her website, the visit of her aunt ranch in Arizona. So she moved somewhere. It was also a big, we could say, exposure for her autism, as she said. And there she was exposed also to the animals. She could observe them, how they behave. So the animal behaviorism spread from that. And her interest shifted a little bit from the general psychology to this interest in the animals. So it had this twofold impact on her own mental understanding what's going on, how to make the big use of the autism. And then she said that she shifted from the perceiving this as impairment to the superpower, right? And it was a big thing because now we know that she's very famous, she attained a lot, she's very successful. We can see that this shift has happened. And of course, this created this big passion towards the animals. And when I read the biography, we have the age 15. So always when I see 15, 16, then it will be always Jupiter, right? Jupiter is in the 12th house. Also, we had on this channel a few examples when persons were married at the 16, right? So then Jupiter will have something to do with the marriage. Using the Chakra Dasha, using the Utpana, using the Vimshotri, always the Mercury and the Jupiter, especially the Virgo, were activated. Even using the Moon Vimshotri, it was Rahu, Saturn. So the Anubhava, very important principle, count from Mahadasha to Antardasha and then the same distance, coming to the Virgo. Then we can understand that this time which shifted her whole life, which she calls it an inspiration and the process in which she regained her momentum, her direction, this was all Jupiter and Mercury. Now, if we see the yoga in her chart, why these planets? What do you think is special about these two planets? Jupiter aspects that Mars. And this is not only one-sided aspect, because Mars also aspects the sign of Jupiter, Sagittarius. So this is like something between the mutual Graha Drishti, mutual planetary aspect, and the one-sided aspect. Therefore, it is a yoga, right? So the fact that Mars is aspecting that Sagittarius back, it is now not only showing this Jupiter protection over the Mars, but there is also some kind of yoga there. And for Scorpio, this is beautiful because Mars and Jupiter forms a Raja Yoga. But anyway, Jupiter is helping. And what is Mercury here? Mercury is the Anitya Karaka, the dispositor of Mars. Now we have to ask, what is that Mercury, Venus, Sun? So let's reverse engineer, and we know that she was coming from a wealthy family and she got a lot of support there, right? This is definitely that Mercury, Venus on the Aruda, and especially related to the second from Aruda. Because first of all, the basic philosophy is that the benefics in the Kendra will help. The question is how they will help, through which channels this help will come. This is very important because then only then we can understand how this can help us, right? So if it's related to the family, right here, the Aruda, the social stance, then we know this is coming from the family. But we have two more yogas here. According to Sutika chapter in the Brihadsparashara Hora Shastra, we know that when Mercury and the Venus are aspecting or influencing the second from Aruda Lagna, then we have a help of aunts or uncles. So we know that these people can be then instrumental, can be part of our life, can open the doors if this is related to remedy or helping grahas, like here in this chart. So you see how we can derive, how we are processing the line, right? First we have found the problem, then we are going to the helping planets. And then, according to Jaimini Upadesha Sutra, when second from Aruda is loaded by Mercury, person will have the lands, right? Especially Virgo is showing such ranches and things like that. So we can see that those three things, supportive family, Mercury and Venus on Aruda, especially in resources, right? This is her childhood, because the Sun's nakshatra is the fourth one from the ascendant. The fourth one is loaded by Sun. So Sun is joining there, Mercury and Venus, lot of support. We know that this is coming from the uncles, and then we have the second from Aruda, which is the lands. So we know that this position has really helped her. We also see how this could change the Marika yoga, right? We have this Mars, then we have Saturn, and then if there would be only Sun, then we have this blockage. But these two benefics are also canceling this negative Marika. So through what this is cancelled? And we have just find out. Before we move on, if you'd like me to help you find these helper planets in your chart and find the momentum in the time and assign those actionable events or actions you can do which will relate to those helping planets, then consider booking the 60 or 90 minutes consultation on Zoom. You can find the link in the description. So we have found the problem of the Mars and also the panacea for that, the Mercury and Jupiter. Being in Kendra, this will show the childhood, time, and also we have found what indication are connected to it, and the Jupiter was also showing the age of 15. Now the last point is the dashamsa. This is interesting because now we can see, is this piercing the shield or is it coming to the world of career life? Because that could be very nice personally, but do we have a guarantee that person will create a career from that, right? Similar questions are arising when we have, for example, yogas like Kalasarpa or Kalamrita, which are broken by Moon and Jupiter, which is also often showing that you can channelize your personal experience into helping others. These people can be advisors, therapists, or they could be activists. And but dashamsa have to show that, right? Because you need to do it in the world of career life. What is interesting here is that the Sun, which is very important because this is also the 10th lord from the Rasi chart, normally in the 12th or 4th or 8th would show spiritual people or someone who is working for charity. Here it is also with that Mercury in the 12th, right? So we have 6th Lord Mercury in the Sagittarius, and this is showing her occupation as a teacher on the university, because this is related to speaking. Especially we have this Jupiterian sign for academia. Mercury alone, this could be something else. And Jupiter exalted in the 7th, we have to remember that 7th in the dashamsa is showing more our clients and partners, but the Lord, the Moon, is in the Pisces, so there's parivartana, and therefore the type of business, which is normally shown by the 7th Lord, is also shown by the 7th house, and therefore she is not only an employed teacher, but she also is having own consultancy project where she is consulting people about the animal welfare, and that is shown by this Jupiter exalted in the 7th house and the 7th Lord Moon. We know that the Capricorn dashamsa is right because she got her college position in Saturn Venus using Utpana and Saturn using the Moon Vimshotri. So Capricorn dashamsa is right. And we have again Another example, we have learned a few things. When these combinations will come into our clients or friends' charts, then we will know, oh, this is similar to this case, to this example. And we again made some progress in Vedic astrology. All right, so if you would like to learn more about those remedial measures in Vedic astrology, then consider watching this one.